everyone, I'm helping somebody out with a Yamaha RX5 drum machine. It's actually a pretty cool unit. It's kind of like a good backing singer in that you just put it in there with some other stuff and it helps everything kind of sound a little bit nicer or a little bit fuller. It's actually got some pretty neat sounds of its own once you get in there with the edit voice function and change things up. And that's what was going on with this unit, is the buttons were starting to not work very well. You'd have to pound on that edit voice function, and that's not good for anything here. So we're going to take a look at cleaning the buttons here, just kind of an overview of what's the process. Main tip I would say is get a piece of paper out and label where all the screws go. Put a little boxes on the paper, say, you know, these screws go here and that kind of thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is put it upside down. We're going to take the bottom screws off and we're going to go in through the bottom. Once you get that bottom panel off, you can take that MIDI panel off where all those jacks are. And you should see this main board kind of thing with all the chips on here. You're going to need to take off all these screws around the perimeter of this main board. You can see there. And there's one screw right here that goes through a spacer. As I recall, that's a little bit different. And you want to make a note of that one and make sure that goes right back in that spacer so that it joins up together later the right way. Here's a close-up of the battery, just a good old standard CR2032 battery, coin battery. Of course, this is the kind that's soldered in. You can see the solder thing there. Would require a little bit of unsoldering. We're not going to do that now, but it's a pretty simple repair. Just take off the panel as we showed. Okay, what we're going to do now is take these last screws off of this metal part that's holding the power stuff and the MIDI jacks in, and we can start to release the main board from the button board, which is below it. The button board is on this particle board brown thing, and so there's a lot of screws that we have to keep track of here. What we're going to do is go around and remove all these black screws on the particle board and remove that ribbon cable. If you've got all those things off, then you should be able to take the button board out, and the button board is going to be attached to the particle board with those silver screws. Now we're going to take those silver screws out, and that's going to release the button assembly from the particle board. Alright, so now you can see the button board or button assembly is pretty gross. It's all dusty and dirty and what have you. That's going to need a good cleaning, so just air and blow all that stuff out. Be very careful, don't drop this thing. There's a lot of springs and little parts and stuff like that. You don't want to sneeze or spit your coffee all over all these little parts if you can avoid it. Now we got this all cleaned up. Looks a lot better. That's not really the main problem actually, but you know, why not clean up a little bit here. The main problem is the contacts, and there's some sheets that need to be cleaned. There's a plastic sheet or semi-clear plastic sheet with some traces on there and circles where the springs are hitting the contacts. All those circles need to be swabbed out with alcohol. I did both sides. Wasn't really sure if you need to do it, but both sides of the plastic sheet on those circles, and then that gray contact on the PCB thing. Alright, now it's reassembly time. Just put everything back the way it came, one step at a time. Make sure all the screws go in the right spot, and you're pretty much done. So that's the Yamaha RX5. It's big, it's bad, it's 80s, and it actually sounds pretty good. Check it out if you get the chance, or find someone who you can check it out from, even better. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'd very much appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a good one.